In the annals of superhero history, few battles are spoken of with such awe and gravitas as the showdown between Superman, Earth's greatest champion, and Doomsday, an unstoppable force driven by pure destruction. This is a tale of confrontation not just between strength and strength, but between hope and annihilation. It began on a quiet afternoon in Metropolis, as news reports flickered with disturbing footage from the Midwest. Something monstrous had clawed its way up from the depths beneath the earth towering. Gray covered in jagged bone protrusions, terror and rage in its crimson eyes, authorities speculated about its origin. But the creature's path was clear, a beeline for civilization, leaving devastation in its wake. Superman, also known as Clark Kent, first caught wind of Doomsday's approach from the Justice League's monitoring systems. Initial reports described entire towns destroyed, highways shredded, and even hero-led response teams routed with terrifying ease. As Superman soared from the skies toward the chaos, a singular purpose guided him. Whatever this creature was, it had to be stopped. The first encounter was outside a small city. Superman landed, cape billowing, to find Doomsday in the midst of a rampage. The Man of Steel announced his presence, attempting negotiation, an offering of peace, understanding. But Doomsday answered with violence. Its fist lashed out, hurling Superman through a concrete wall. Shock resonated. This enemy could match, or even surpass, Superman's raw power. The clash escalated quickly. Superman delivered thunderous blows, each one strong enough to shatter mountains. Doomsday shrugged them off, his body seemingly absorbing and adapting to every attack. Metropolis champion summoned the full extent of his speed and heat vision, searing the monster's hide, but the creature regenerated at an alarming pace. With every moment, Doomsday grew more ferocious, its attacks more cunning, as if learning with each strike. Civilian lives hung in the balance. Superman's greatest challenge was not just stopping Doomsday, but containing the battle far from innocent bystanders. He lured the monster away, engaging in a furious mid-air brawl that shattered the landscape. Skyscrapers trembled, highways buckled, and the world watched as Superman bloodied. Driven to the limits of endurance, fought with every ounce of his legendary strength, soon the world's other heroes tried to intervene. But even Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and the rest of the Justice League, arriving in force, were swatted aside by Doomsday's relentless fury. Each attempt to subdue the monster ended in injury as Doomsday overwhelmed them one by one. Their collective might proved insufficient. In these desperate hours, Superman stood alone. The battle moved inexorably to Metropolis. As Doomsday tore through the city's outskirts, Superman redoubled his efforts, pouring on exhaustion-sapping energy blasts. Every punch left the air trembling. Every impact sent shockwaves through the city streets. But Doomsday adjusted, growing more brutal and resistant to pain. Buildings collapsed, dust rose like a shroud, and terror spread through the city's population. Weakened, battered, Superman realized the grim truth. Doomsday could not be reasoned with. Fleeing was impossible. If not stopped here and now, the monster would raise Metropolis and move on, leaving devastation across the planet. Superman made a fateful decision he would not hold back. Taking every risk, he hammered Doomsday with all the might the last son of Krypton could muster. The struggle became primal, a pure test of will and resilience. The two combatants hammered each other with blows that cracked streets and shattered stone. Superman drew every last reserve of strength, heat vision at full intensity, flight at blinding speeds. Relentless strikes each won a prayer of hope for his beloved city. Finally, as both stood wounded upon the shattered streets of Metropolis, Superman seized Doomsday, refusing to let go. Channeling his remaining power, he delivered a final devastating punch with all the force he could summon. Doomsday fell, his body finally still, rendered inert by the titanic clash. But at that moment of victory, Superman himself collapsed, lifeless, his body broken by the strain. The world fell silent as rescue crews and bystanders converged on the heroes at the battle's heart. Lois Lane knelt beside Superman, while all of Metropolis, and indeed the entire planet, mourned the loss of their greatest protector. In the aftermath, Metropolis would rebuild, and the world would eventually see hope renewed. Superman's sacrifice became legend, a symbol of ultimate heroism, of selflessness in the face of oblivion. The battle with Doomsday stood as a dark day for humanity, but it ensured that hope, even when bloodied and near defeat, would one day rise again.